I used to think of germs as little monsters, tiny creatures that invaded my body to make me sick. But one day, I discovered something amazing. Those same microorganisms that make me cough and sneeze, make chocolate, help clean up oil spills and break down plastics. Microbes are behind all sorts of phenomena that affect the fate of our planet. So, in this episode of Infinite Gist, I am going to show you how every human action triggers an equally minute reaction in the world of microorganisms. I'll uncover what scientists are learning about the hidden rules of our microbial world. And I'll show you why understanding these relationships could save our species from itself. Okay, let's talk about germs. Let's start by putting ourselves in context. In any environment on Earth, there are at least 10 times more microbes than organisms we can see. That means there are more microbes in a teaspoon of soil than there are humans on Earth. We don't even know how many types of microbes exist, but biologists estimate there are probably millions of species we haven't even identified. Here's the weirdest part: most of these unseen creatures are beneficial or at least harmless. In fact, some are downright crucial. Microbes in our soil transform rocks and dead stuff into plant food. They make oxygen, clean up waste, help us digest food, some even protect us from disease. And because so many microbes are alive in the places we live, work, and play, they've become intertwined with our lives in ways we didn't even realize. When we think of ourselves, we tend to focus on our big footprint on carbon emissions, deforestation, pollution. But it turns out we also leave behind a much smaller one. The micro footprint, a subtle force that's transforming the world of microorganisms. You might start by thinking of medicines and how to fight bacterial infections. When antibiotics were discovered, it seemed like a silver bullet. Unfortunately, it turns out those wee little germ warriors can mutate quickly. And if we keep feeding them bullets, some become resistant and harder to kill. Every time a doctor prescribes an antibiotic or a farmer feeds it to livestock, that makes the evolutionary arms race a bit tougher, increasing the chance that a superbug could emerge. So what seems like a win for humanity could end up being a loss for microbes and ultimately us. We also leave a mark through synthetic chemicals like pesticides and fertilizers. These allow us to produce more food and kill weeds and pests. But in waterways, they become pollutants that build up in harmful amounts. This disrupts aquatic food chains and starves microbes of oxygen, effectively choking them out of existence. For example, fertilizer runoff causes huge algal blooms that block light from getting to deeper waters. This creates what's called dead zones, areas that are virtually devoid of life. And then there's plastic, a wonder material that changed our lives for the better. But when you consider the sheer volume of plastic we're making and discarding, it's not a great boon to microbes. Already, microplastics have been found in the deepest parts of our oceans and in human bloodstreams. Over time, these particles break down into dust that accumulates in giant patches and in cells that form bizarre new ecosystems called plastosphere. It's unclear what this will mean for microbes long-term, but researchers are concerned it could have dire consequences. After all, the microbes living there won't decompose like other waste because plastic doesn't break down biologically. Instead, they'll need to find another way to adapt, which could involve some seriously nasty mutations. In other words, we're triggering a sixth mass extinction event, this time by killing off microbes. While it's true that humans have caused many extinctions, including that of dinosaurs, for the most part, evolution has happened on its own terms. Life adapts to changes over thousands of years. But today, we're changing the pace, driving a new era of rapid evolution. And, as you can imagine, not all microbes are hanging around to see how it plays out. Many are packing their bags and moving out. As people encroach into new habitats, microbes are disappearing from our planet at a rate of 20% per decade. With each passing year, the number of microbial species we're losing is outpacing the number we discover. And here's the kicker: microbial diversity helps plants grow, resist pests, and flourish in harsh conditions. So, by paving over soils and eliminating microbes, we're removing a critical advantage that nature has given us. That's why we need to understand the microbial world if we want to protect our own species. Unfortunately, there's a lot we don't know. For example, while researchers believe that humans share more bacterial cells than human cells, we don't know exactly what those microbes are doing in our bodies or how many species there are in total. But one thing is clear, these organisms shape our lives in ways that we're only beginning to understand. For example, studies show that microbes in our gut affect our weight, digestion, and immune system. Changes to the microbiome may even contribute to neurological and psychiatric disorders like autism spectrum disorder and Parkinson's disease. And that's just in us. Microbes help break down waste, cycle nutrients, and prevent soil erosion. And the health of coral reefs depends on microbes that protect them from predators. When those delicate balances are broken, bad things happen. In 2023, scientists reported that rising temperatures had altered phytoplankton blooms, resulting in less carbon dioxide being removed from the atmosphere. And a study published in 2024 found that, as the Arctic warms, microbes are waking up from thousands of years of suspended animation, forcing native ones out of their habitats. That's right, humans are causing changes that are forcing microbes to adapt, migrate, and disappear. But microbes are also teaching us a thing or two about ourselves and how to survive. Take bioremediation. That's the process of using microbes to clean up environmental pollutants. Certain bacteria can eat oil, detoxify chemical weapons, and even gobble up plastic. Engineers are even designing microbial fuel cells to harness electricity generated by bacteria. Basically, microbes are making energy from poop. So it's a win-win. There's also precision agriculture. That's using data, technology, and yes, microbes to optimize crops. One Canadian company even makes microbial inoculants, concentrated mixtures of good bacteria that boost growth and cut fertilizer use. By studying soil microbiomes, farmers can grow healthier crops with fewer chemicals. Plus, it turns out we each have our own microbial fingerprint. That's a collection of unique microbes that distinguish us. And while you might think everyone's microbes are pretty much the same, studies show that our microbial makeup is as distinctive as our DNA. It also turns out that diet, hygiene, and even location shape our microbial fingerprint. And if we pay attention, we can leverage that knowledge to our benefit. For example, eating fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi gives us good bacteria. Taking probiotics helps, too. But studies also suggest that microbes in our homes and workplaces could be protective, offering immunity against pathogens. And in hospitals, ultraviolet light helps kill dangerous microbes on surfaces. These are just a few of the ways we can use our understanding of microbiology to protect our own health. So remember, the decisions we make today will have ripple effects in the microbial world. As we pave over natural habitats, flood waterways with fertilizers, and discard plastic waste, we trigger reactions that impact our health, economy, and well-being. Microbes are essential to life on Earth, and as we learn more about them, we'll uncover new ways to protect ourselves and the planet. It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity, so if you're ready to take action, join us. Learn more about the microbial world and how you can make a difference. Together, we can ensure that microbes thrive for generations to come. Okay, that's a wrap. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think humanity will learn to live in balance with the microscopic world, or will our influence spiral out of control? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and before you go, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.